Hello, I'm Claw, and today we're going to be doing some jokes. I've done this before, but this is part 3 of the jokes. The document that I'm reading from is called Jokes 3, and let's get into it. So I'm a big sports fan, but not the traditional sports. I'm more into the weird shit, like the lumberjack games. And that's like 10 events where they're cutting trees in different styles. It's like the Mario Party of lumber. So they say tragedy breeds comedy. Did you guys all hear about New Orleans? No, that's not gonna work. I love everything about 90s Nickelodeon except the pedophilia. I wanted to get that green slime so bad, not the Dan Schneider white stuff. That whole situation really brought a whole new meaning to Are You Afraid of the Dark? So, Casey Anthony didn't get caught because they didn't check Firefox on her computer. And if they had, they would have found all this incriminating stuff that she searched, like, how do I kill a child? But they only knew about Internet Explorer, so they didn't actually check Firefox. And that got me thinking about an IT forensics guy. That's got to be a really hard job, looking at all those, pictures all day and walking around with a boner. You ever been to a thing where it's like cash only, like you got a babysitter and you want to pay them, but you don't have any cash, but you still pull out your wallet and do that thing where you check the wallet? Then you got to do this whole thing, man, like, oh man, I don't have any cash, can I get you back later? Aren't you the adult in that situation? Come on, Susie, get Cash App. Let me Zillow you this money, Brian. I bet 90% of everyone here knows exactly how much cash they have on them. The other 10% make bad life choices. All their cash is just a ball in their purse or under their mattress. They're storing it up to go someplace exotic like Tuscany one day. Like Tucson one day? If your babysitter doesn't have Venmo, that's the type of person who's watching your kid. A crackhead with a dream to travel. That one's... I don't get that one. So I live pretty close to our city center, and I can walk, yeah, but it's like 1.5 miles. So I was looking at e-scooters, and they're, it's about $500. You can get one that supports 220 pounds, and I am more than that. So I kept looking around, and then there's this one that supports 286 pounds. And I'm like, that's really specific, because in the past, it's like this supports 250, and this supports 260. But this is real specific. It's 286, and that's too specific. You have to think that during the trials, Tim, who's 284, they're like, okay, great, works for Tim. And then Jim gets on there, and he's 287, and he dies. And the scientists are like, yeah, 286 is the limit. So my friend was stationed in Germany, and he kept sending me these pictures of these beautiful streets. It's clean, and the food looks great. It's where beer was invented. So I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe we could have learned something from the Nazis. Not the genocide. We mastered that a long time ago. I mean the mustaches. YouTube thinks I'm a Mexican woman in need of sex. I get a lot of ads for dildos in Spanish. I'm not sure why. I don't speak Spanish. And I look for dildos less. So you remember back in... these get really ranty. Do you remember back in the 90s where they were like, have a secret word before you get into a car? And you and your mom would have a secret word, and that's so you didn't get kidnapped? Well, I just like to think that back then the teachers were like, we'll put this kid in any vehicle that has the magic word. The kids scream, I don't know him! And teachers are crying and shit. Sorry, he knew the right word. Mommy should have picked a better kidnap word. My wife and I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day because her birthday is a week after, so we make a bigger deal about that. But we do celebrate is called the morning after day. When we first moved in together, we lived across the street from a Walgreens. And when we bought our first house, we were actually also across the street from a Walgreens. So what we do is on the 15th, we treat each other to a bunch of half-price candy. There's a lot of shit, but sometimes you find something good to eat. So it's like Valentine's Day in that way. We call it the morning after day because of all the teenage girls. We do something similar after Easter, a month or so later, but this is called Coat Hanger Day. That was pretty good. Food's weird to me. Everybody knows about the first guy who sees a cow udder and asks, I'm gonna pull on that dangly thing and drink whatever comes out. That's not weird to me. You see calves do it, so you know that there's something. Plus, I saw a video of a woman blowing a horse. It doesn't surprise me some dude sucked a cow titty. What's surprising to me is the dude told someone. People are gross though. Mozart wrote sex scat play letters to his cousin. What's weirder to me is the guy who pushed lettuce to the mainstream. Like, how many leaves did this guy try first before being like, this is the one? And then how did he sell it? Straight marketing genius. How many people died before we knew portobello mushrooms were safe and before death cap mushrooms got their name? Cherries have cyanide in them. Well, their pits do, and a surprising low number of pits can cause toxicity. How many of you are silently wondering how many? You wouldn't ask because you're here with your future cherry lover, and you don't want to get caught Googling it. Well, just in case, well, my friend, the Morello cherry pit is about 2 to 3. Black cherries are about 7 to 9. But I'm pretty sure they sell all these pitted. So the real answer is 20 to 30. That means if you bought a bag of cherries, you also get an alibi. Thanks, Walmart. Nothing makes me feel more stupid than misspelling genius. I love eating ass is a weird way to say I like ham. When I say fuck them kids, I don't mean it like Jeffrey Epstein. I mean it more like Trump at the border. It's weird how many sexy animals there were in our childhood, right? The most famous for me was Lola Bunny. Every teenage boy was like, yeah girl, I'm gonna Space Jam that dick in that bunny pussy. Bill Murray was in that movie. And that's it. Those are my jokes. There are some good ones in there, I hope. I'm going to go edit this now, and we'll see how it turns out. So if you're seeing this, it went okay. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll do this again in a year or so. Bye!